With Bubblegum Simulator Infinity coming soon, there are tons of confirmed details and leaks about the game showing how it'll be super unique. This video will go over everything we know so far, like gameplay mechanics, pet systems, the game progression, and even stuff like trading. Most people don't know all this information because the devs actually only post leaks in their Discord server, but I'll be going over everything in this video, so stick around to the end. The main focus for BGSI compared to Bubblegum Simulator is that they really want to improve the balance of pets and items, as well as the overall sustainability of the game compared to Bubblegum Simulator, meaning we'll be getting consistent updates and a better long-term experience with way more ways to progress. And the devs have made it clear that they want this game to last way longer than BGS, and actually have systems in place to make sure it stays fun even years down the line, with big content updates. But yeah, before we get into everything, if you want to stay informed about all the leaks, when it's going to release, future updates, and news, please consider subscribing. So yeah, what is Bubblegum Simulator Infinity? So it isn't meant to be a direct sequel to Bubblegum Simulator, but instead it's a completely remade version with tons of new features and improvements on all the original game's features. The developers are Isaac, Silently, and Fenner, who are the original developers of BGS, and they're building this new game from the ground up instead of just revamping the original game, focusing on way better balance, progression, and scalability for future updates, as I mentioned before, meaning the game will of course have super cool stuff every update. But yeah, so one of the biggest issues with BGS was how over time progression completely broke. Pets got too overpowered too quickly, which caused new players to not be able to catch up, and updates became way harder to balance as well. And so BGSI is going to be designed specifically to avoid all of these problems by making progression way more structured and making sure there's always something new to work toward, and obviously not just handing out the best pets instantly, but that's something the devs really want to focus on. And it's also going to have a much more optimized back end of the game, meaning all the lag problems from the original game are going to be completely gone. There's going to be way less performance issues and just an overall smoother experience for everybody. So now the most important thing that everyone probably cares about is the gameplay and progression. Like, how is the gameplay specifically going to work? Anyway, specifically for the gameplay and progression, BGSI is changing a lot from BGS in terms of how players actually advance in the game. Unlike BGS, where players could just go from one world to the next without grinding too much, which was a huge concern from the devs, BGSI is actually going to be like most simulator games where you have to grind more exponentially in between each world, which for some reason BGS wasn't like that, but that's how BGSI is going to be. And so Isaac said right here in this message that progression is now just going to be tied to more things like rockets, cannons, and other new mechanics instead of just jumping to the next island. So that's a really cool specific feature. Cloud jumping is still going to be a feature since it's a really key mechanic of the original game, but now each world is going to have different gravity and movement for cloud jumping and jumping to different islands and stuff, meaning the game is going to be much more strategic as well. And so this actually adds a lot more depth, because now instead of just jumping to the top, you'll have to actually explore each world along the way, and they're each going to have unique mechanics, and you'll have to make sure your pets and resources are strong enough to move on. And now for pets, they're obviously still keeping pets, which are going to be a big part of the game, but they are going to be completely changing how pets work, which will make the in-game economy really different. So this is a pretty important section to know. But yeah, the game is going to have pet modifiers like shiny and mythic, but it's also going to have an expanded crafting system that lets players modify and upgrade their pets in super unique ways. Unlike BGS, where pets were basically just to boost your stats, BGSI is actually adding a progression system for pets where they can level up over time and even unlock special enchantments based on their rarity, because of course they're still going to have rarities. This is a whole new thing you can grind for. Even after you get good pets, you can still grind to make them even better, and it still gets obviously exponentially harder, same as the worlds and everything like that. And probably the best change of the pet system is that there will no longer be any pet inventory limits. Along with the name of the game, Bubblegum Simulator Infinity, they're actually adding a lot of infinite aspects, making infinite storage, infinite worlds maybe, but they actually do want to expand on the infinite aspect, not just from the game name. And because of that, as I said, no pet inventory limits. In BGS, managing storage was a really annoying unintended part of the game. You had to constantly delete pets to make room for new ones, and this is because when BGS was made, there wasn't really a way to handle the data better. If you had thousands of pets, you would literally just crash in the game. But now Roblox has much better features to be able to handle all that data. And yeah, so you'll never have to delete any pets ever again. And now for the economy and trading changes. The in-game economy has been adjusted a lot to create a more balanced experience for both free-to-play and premium or Game Pass players. So coins are going to remain the primary currency, obviously, but gems aren't going to be as important anymore. You're not going to use gems to purchase pets. Gems are just going to be used for upgrades and mastery progression rather than just be using to purchase eggs and stuff like that. And the reason for this is because they specifically want to have gem farming to only be for progression instead of just trying to get pets, so you won't have to get gems and farm for gems every time you're getting a pet. They also won't be doing world specific currencies anymore. They used to have world specific currencies in BGS, for example, but they're not going to anymore. But yeah, so for trading, it has been changed a lot. The first thing is that you can't trade currency anymore. You can't trade gems or coins, and this is for many reasons, mainly to prevent inflation and scams. There's also going to be much more security features compared to BGS. Like many other games have trade history logs, so they also said they're going to do that. And now for kind of the monetization and free-to-play balance of the game, because this is a really important part that a lot of people care about. Luckily, BGSI's monetization strategy and everything, the devs have specifically said that they're trying to make this game not pay to win, and free-to-play and pay-to-win will be completely balanced. One other thing is that some game passes from BGS and pet catchers will actually carry over to the game in different kinds of benefits, not the original benefit. But the overall approach for everything is to just ensure that free-to-play players can have the exact same items, and that for the leaderboards, for example, free-to-play players have the same opportunity to get onto them. Along with that, they also are going to add leaderboards, which is something I didn't mention before. Leaderboards in the game will be for all different stuff, like different mini games, and also obviously for gems and different pets and stuff like that. But the leaderboards are going to be seasonal, so every few months or every few updates, they are going to reset the leaderboards so new players have the chance to get onto them. This is again part of their main goal for like beyond individual progression. They're adding way more interactive gameplay elements like server events and mini games like racing to the top of the world actually. So yeah, this is something that wasn't in BGS. They are adding racing. Now we don't know all the details about this, but all these different things are meant to basically just like encourage people to play with other people for multiplayer races, and also have special rewards for not just winning but also participating. And I'm sure they're also going to have like different friend rewards, like invite rewards. Many other games do the same thing. But with the participation awards for different mini games, this also means if you're not even the best player, you'll still earn something just for playing, making it so basically everyone can participate no matter what level you are, while still keeping the competitive aspect. And yeah, so for competitive players, they are going to be adding the leaderboards. And now for the next section of future updates and dev plans for the game. The devs have already confirmed the update schedule for BGSI, which is going to be weekly minor updates and bi-weekly major updates. So every 1 week we'll have a minor update, and every other week it's going to be a major update. This is much more compared to BGS. There's always going to be something to do in this game, which is really, really interesting. And we do also already know about specific things coming to the game in the future, including a prestige system, guilds, and even dungeons, as well as world-specific things like puzzles and hidden areas. Speaking of puzzles, there are obviously going to be secret pets in the game. But besides that, other future updates and dev plans are going to be seasonal events. Seasonal events like holiday updates will still be in the game, obviously. And it's also confirmed that seasonal events will have limited exclusive items and pets similar to the original game. But yes, that's most of what we know so far about BGSI. Obviously, I'll update you guys when we have more information, such as the specific release date or the trailer. But from the video, I'm sure you guys can tell the game is taking a huge step forward compared to BGS. And this is definitely going to be one of the biggest games on Roblox when it releases. If you want to stay updated, make sure to subscribe. Also, leave a like on the video if you found it informative. And let me know what part of the game you're most excited about in the comments down below. And actually, real quick before we end the video, this is my brand new channel specifically for Bubblegum Simulator Infinity content. I'll be covering everything from updates, leaks, gameplay strategies, and even trading tips once the game is out. And obviously doing videos on all the leaks until then. So if you're interested in keeping up with every major change in BGSI and want to get a head start when the game releases, then this is going to be the best channel to subscribe to. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.